Beyond the Badge is brought to you by the Edina Crime Prevention Fund.
Welcome to Beyond the Badge, a program about the inner workings of the Edina Police and Fire Departments. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sergeant Brian Hubbard. The City of Edina is now even better prepared in the event of a natural disaster. When such an incident strikes, one of the biggest obstacles to an effective response is a breakdown in communication among federal, state, and local agencies. In order to remedy this potential shortcoming, the Minnesota Urban Search and Rescue Task Force 1, which includes some members of the Edina Fire Rescue and Inspections Department, checks its emergency preparedness alongside multiple military and government agencies in a testing environment dubbed Disaster City. Edina 16's Scott Thierry traveled to Camp Ripley in Little Falls, Minnesota for the story.
120 miles away from Edina, or 193 clicks, lays Camp Ripley, a 53,000-acre regional training facility used by both military and civilians.
The disaster emergency would be housed at the University of Minnesota, where there's a sinkhole. Numerous buildings have collapsed into the sinkhole. One of those buildings was a research laboratory which housed mustard gas. Focus on breathing, focus on breathing.
Our primary focus is looking at these structures from a collapse standpoint, going in, rescuing victims, breaching and breaking, shoring up the buildings, doing typical urban search and rescue type activities.
To create a more realistic environment for the responders, pre-recorded screams and crying can be heard playing throughout the buildings.
The groups are working together very well.
Get off with them.
They're moving through the problems. We have a lot of very intense scenarios set up for them.
Dock over.
It drives home the importance of having good, solid planning so we're ready at any moment. That's, I think, one thing that the team has definitely learned. I have learned, making sure that we're supporting the team so they're as best prepared and as well planned and ready to go out the door at a moment's notice.
Although rare in Edina, hazardous storms and disasters can happen anywhere at any moment.
This isn't something that we do all the time. It's a very low frequency event, but it's very high in danger. So anytime that we can come up here and simulate that buildings have been collapsed and then we can work on those, that benefits everybody. It benefits every citizen of Edina, it benefits every citizen of the state, but more importantly, it benefits our firefighters to keep them safe when they're actually down at a disaster and working in some pretty hazardous conditions.
They're keeping track of where everybody's at.
I'm getting an opportunity to work with the military. I've never done that. I was not in the military, so I'm working with colonels and generals and from sergeants all the way up. In a real disaster, we are going to lean, anybody's going to lean on the National Guard, and I'm learning their infrastructure and their command structure, and it's been invaluable to me personally.
From Camp Ripley, I'm Scott Thierry, Edina 16.
Sponsored by the National Guard, Vigilant Guard 15 is a training exercise 3 years in the making. More than 1,000 responders participated in the specialized training, while over 100 people volunteered as victims in need of emergency response. For more than 40 years, the Edina Crime Prevention Fund has been a valuable partner to the Edina Police Department by donating money and resources to help fill budgetary gaps. Recently, a Crime Prevention Fund donation of nearly $50,000 enabled the department to purchase a mobile camera system. The Mobile Pro Defender camera system will help police remotely monitor crowd activity at large public gatherings as well as scan for criminal activity in hard-to-access areas.
If your car is parked in a parking lot where there are no cameras, there's no video surveillance, and we have this tool in place where we can actually monitor if a crime occurs there, that's truly one of our only ways that we can maybe find a suspect in the future. If there's no cameras there because the company doesn't support them or the company doesn't have them in their parking lot and a crime is committed in that parking lot, there's no real evidence for us to follow up with, and it would be tough for us to solve a crime.
Tools like the Mobile Pro allow Edina police officers to stay abreast of the technology curve. The system can be outfitted with cameras, speed monitoring devices, and license plate readers, enabling officers to police areas from their squad cars or even the 911 dispatch center. Mobile camera systems can also promote officer safety by preemptively scoping out areas with the potential for dangerous criminal activity. Although many of us are guilty of multitasking in the car, operating a motor vehicle requires one's undivided attention. Engaging with fellow passengers, fiddling with the radio, and using electronic devices to send text messages all create dangerous traffic conditions for the driver and other motorists. This month's Focus In reminds motorists that distracted drivers are unsafe drivers. The less time a motorist has to react to an unexpected hazard on the road, the more dangerous the potential outcome. Please promote safe roadways by keeping your mind and eyes on the road at all times. On behalf of the City of Edina's Public Safety Team, thanks for tuning in to learn a little bit more of what goes on beyond the badge. Until next time, stay safe.